Good morning, my dear children. Today we will discuss about History Chapter 1 What, Where, How, and When. Let's understand what is history. History is a chronological account of events which occurred in the past. What does it mean? It means that it is an events which have happened in the particular order. It is also telling us about the past. History is generally known or it is again split into his plus story. Okay, now let us understand why should we learn history. We should study history because it tells us about the past. It also gives the understanding how the ancient culture and lifestyle. The ancient culture, what does it mean? It means how the old people had lived in the past. The lifestyle talks about how they have lived. It also understands to help the problems they have in the past and how they have overcome. In case if they have made any mistake, it also teaches us how we should actually learn from there and do not come to it the same mistakes. Okay, what is the importance of history? The importance of history can be easily summarized. It tells us what the past in kings and kingdoms and society learned. How the earlier king, how they set up a big kingdom and how people live. It also tells us how what kind of food they had and the kind of dress they wore. It also tells us what kinds of occupations they were doing. It tells the great achievement how our forefathers and the earlier ancestors how they lived life. It also tells us the mistakes they have made and how they can correct that. It also tells what kind of games they have played. We learn from history or a better future. So this should be impressive that why we need to learn history and what is the importance of history. Okay, let's get to understand how did people live. The people lived basically in river of Narmada, on the banks of the river of Narmada, Suleiman and Kirtar hills in the northwest, Garo hills and the Vindhyas and the central India, Indus and its tributaries, Ganga and its tributaries. Let us understand what is a tributary. Tributary refers to the branches of the different rivers and then head on as a single river. That is, tributaries are smaller rivers that flow into a larger river. Okay, here please have a look at the map. We can see the Himalayas in the north, the Kaveri in the down, the Garo hills on the right hand side, the Ganga, Indus, Mahanadi, Deccan and Narmada. This is the brief outline of the map of India. Let's have a look at Narmada. Several people lived on the banks of the river Narmada. They were all hunters and gatherers. What does hunters means? In the early period of time, people did not have the way how we live and we have food. They were hunting animals with whatever weapons they had and how they learned to mate. And then they were also gatherers the saints. They left from one place to another place in search of food. In the Suleiman and Kirtar hills, people lived 8,000 years ago. These were the people who knew how to begin farming. Farming here refers to how they cultivate and get rice, wheat, barley. This is what is called cultivation. They used to grow crops like wheat and barley. People lived in a settled life. Villages until this time people were living in groups. Apart from this, they started settled in and villages started coming into existing. The people in the Garo hills and the Vindhyas were the first to grow rice. On the rivers of Indus and its tributaries, people started developing cities. It was 4,700 years ago. We started to see bigger cities coming upon the rivers under the banks of Ganga. Some cities also developed along the sea coast. Next, I hope the most interesting part is now coming in, which where we all know how India got its name as India or Bharat or Hindustan. The most people we use words were referred as India, Bharat and Hindustan. The people from Iran and Greece came to the northwest of India. They were familiar with the river Indus. They started calling people were living on the other side of Indus, which got renamed as Hindus. The land where they coast of the river came to be known as India. People who lived in the northwest were known as Bharat. It is mentioned in Rig Veda. The name Bharat came from the term Bharata. Now we understood how India got its name as Bharat. Let us understand what are the sources which tells us how history is actually taken from four concepts. It is from manuscripts, inscriptions, coins and archaeological sites. These may be really new terms for us, but we know these words earlier. We all know that in the past, people used to write on the bark of the trees, and we have also seen them. People giving that to their family. One such is actually shown for your reference. This way, where people take bark of the tree and you write in with handwritten book is called as manuscripts. They used to write all the praises of the king, the practices, poems, plays, epics, etc. The word manuscripts comes from the Latin word manu, meaning hand. So manuscripts are the handwritten book. Okay. Next, inscriptions. We have also seen inscriptions in temples, in rocks, caves and other things. The letters found on rocks, caves or temples are known as inscriptions. An inscription is a stone which tells about the life of the king or what is the praises done, what kind of language they have written in. They are mostly found in Sanskrit, Tamil or Prakrit. And old inscription is almost like more better than manuscripts because it will not fade away and the life of more than manuscripts. Okay. They also use coins, which we use either made up of copper or silver or gold. The coins were first developed in ancient Greece, and one such coin which is in silver is shown your reference. They also tell us about the level of skills among the artisans. How people used this skill take place during that period? A pot which almost 4,700 years ago is also can be seen in this figure. Next, archaeological sites. Archaeological sites are the major informations for the historians to know how people have learned. So, what is an archaeological site mean? It's nothing but the remains of which are obtained or building or a monument which is there is called as an archaeological site. Artifacts are the items extracted from the different archaeological site and gives the information about the period. Okay, finally we discuss or we understand what is a date. Okay, today we live in 2020 AD. What does AD stands for? The term AD stands for Anno Domini, which means in the year or Lord. It tells us that after the death of Jesus Christ, 2020 years have passed by. Many important historical dates are prior to the birth of Christ have been referred to as BC, and it is also used CE, which is a common era. Similarly, BCE is used to instead of BC and it referred to the common era. Okay, clear the chapter? Thank you.